Welcome. Today, we're breaking down the basics of security deposits in the simplest way possible. Whether you're renting your first apartment or just curious about how these deposits work, this video will guide you through everything you need to know. We'll start by explaining what a security deposit is, why it's required, and how it protects both landlords and tenants. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of how security deposits fit into the rental process and what you should keep in mind when dealing with them. Let's get started on this journey to demystify security deposits together. A security deposit is a sum of money that a tenant pays to a landlord before moving into a rental property. Think of it as a safety net for the landlord. This money is held during your lease and is meant to cover any damages or unpaid rent if something goes wrong. If you take good care of the property and pay your rent on time, you usually get the deposit back when you move out. Security deposits are common in rental agreements and help build trust between landlords and tenants. They're not a fee or extra rent, but a refundable amount that protects both parties. Landlords ask for security deposits to protect their property and finances. If a tenant accidentally damages something or leaves without paying the last month's rent, the landlord can use the deposit to cover those costs. It's a way to ensure that tenants take responsibility for the property and fulfill their lease obligations. For landlords, it's a form of insurance against unexpected expenses. For tenants, it's motivation to keep the property in good shape and follow the rules. This mutual understanding helps create a smoother rental experience for everyone involved. The amount of a security deposit can vary depending on where you live and the type of property you're renting. Typically, it's equal to 1 or 2 months' rent, but some places have legal limits on how much a landlord can charge. It's important to check your local laws and your lease agreement to know exactly what's required. The deposit should be clearly stated in your rental contract, so there are no surprises. Always ask questions if you're unsure about the amount or how it's calculated. You usually pay the security deposit before you move into the rental property, often at the same time you sign the lease. This payment secures your spot and shows the landlord you're serious about renting. Without the deposit, the landlord might not hold the property for you. Make sure to get a receipt or written confirmation when you pay, so you have proof of the transaction. This step is crucial for both your records and future reference. After you pay the security deposit, the landlord is responsible for keeping it safe. In many places, the law requires landlords to put the deposit in a separate bank account, sometimes even earning interest for the tenant. This ensures the money is available when it's time to return it. Ask your landlord where your deposit will be held and if it will earn any interest. Transparency is key to avoiding misunderstandings later on. A security deposit is mainly used to cover damages beyond normal wear and tear, unpaid rent, or cleaning costs if the property isn't left in good condition. It's not meant for minor issues like a few nail holes or faded paint. If you break something major or leave the place dirty, the landlord can use part or all of the deposit to fix it. Always ask for a list of what the deposit can be used for, so you know what's expected. Normal wear and tear refers to the small, everyday changes that happen to a property over time. This includes things like minor scuffs on the walls, worn carpets, or faded paint. These are expected and not deducted from your security deposit. Landlords can't charge you for these normal signs of use. However, big stains, broken windows, or holes in the wall are considered damage and could cost you part of your deposit. To make sure you get your security deposit back, leave the property in the same condition as when you moved in, minus normal wear and tear. Clean thoroughly, repair any damage you caused, and remove all your belongings. It's a good idea to take photos before you leave as proof of the property's condition. Communicate with your landlord and ask for a final inspection if possible. This helps avoid disputes and ensures a smooth return of your deposit. When you first move in, it's important to do a thorough inspection of the property with your landlord. Document any existing damage or issues and take photos. This record protects you from being blamed for problems that were already there. Both you and your landlord should sign off on the inspection report. Keep a copy for your records. This step is crucial for making sure you're only responsible for damage that happens during your stay. Before you move out, schedule a final inspection with your landlord. Walk through the property together and compare its condition to the move-in report. This helps determine if any deductions from your deposit are necessary. If there are issues, your landlord should explain what needs fixing and how much it will cost. This process ensures fairness and transparency for both sides. After you move out, landlords usually have a set period, often 14 to 30 days, to return your security deposit. This time frame can vary by location, so check your local laws and your lease agreement. If there are deductions, the landlord should provide an itemized list explaining each charge. If everything is in order, you'll get your full deposit back within the legal time limit. Sometimes, tenants and landlords disagree about deposit deductions. If this happens, try to resolve the issue by talking it out and reviewing your inspection reports and photos. If you can't agree, you may need to use mediation services or take the matter to a small claims court. Keeping good records and clear communication can help prevent disputes and make the process smoother if they do arise. Many places have laws that protect tenants' rights when it comes to security deposits. These laws set limits on how much can be charged, require landlords to keep deposits in special accounts, and outline how and when deposits must be returned. Knowing your rights helps you avoid unfair treatment and ensures you get your deposit back if you follow the rules. Always read your lease and local regulations carefully. Landlords also have legal protections regarding security deposits. These laws allow them to deduct for real damages, unpaid rent, or cleaning costs, as long as they provide proper documentation. Following the law protects landlords from disputes and ensures they handle deposits fairly. Both sides benefit from understanding and respecting these legal guidelines. In some areas, landlords are required to pay interest on security deposits. This means your deposit might grow a little while it's being held. The interest rate and rules vary by location, so check your lease and local laws. If interest is owed, the landlord should include it when returning your deposit. It's a small benefit, but worth knowing about. Not all deposits are refundable. Sometimes, landlords charge non-refundable fees for things like cleaning or pets. These are separate from your security deposit and are not returned when you move out. Make sure you understand which payments are refundable and which are not before signing your lease. Ask your landlord to clarify any fees you're unsure about. Some people confuse security deposits with last month's rent. They are not the same. The security deposit is held for damages or unpaid rent, while last month's rent is simply a prepayment for your final month living in the property. Make sure you know which payments you're making and what each one covers. This helps avoid confusion and ensures you're prepared for move-out costs. Always ask for a receipt when you pay your security deposit. This document proves you made the payment and shows the amount and date. Keep it in a safe place along with your lease agreement. If there's ever a dispute, your receipt is valuable evidence. Good record keeping protects both tenants and landlords. When your landlord returns your deposit, they should provide a statement showing any deductions and the reason for each one. This statement helps you understand how your deposit was used and ensures transparency. If you disagree with any charges, you can use this statement to discuss the issue with your landlord or seek further help if needed. If you're renting with roommates, the security deposit is usually paid as a group. Everyone is responsible for the property, so if one person causes damage, the cost may come out of the whole deposit. Make sure you agree on how to split the deposit and what happens if someone moves out early. Clear communication helps avoid problems later. Many landlords require an extra deposit if you have pets. This pet deposit covers potential damage caused by animals, like scratches or stains. Sometimes it's refundable, sometimes it's not. Always ask your landlord about their pet policy and whether the pet deposit is separate from your main security deposit. If you're renting a furnished property, the security deposit may be higher to cover potential damage to furniture and appliances. Make sure to inspect all items and note their condition when you move in. This protects you from being charged for damage you didn't cause. Always clarify what the deposit covers in a furnished rental. Short-term rentals like vacation homes or Airbnb often require a security deposit too. The process is similar. You pay before your stay, and it's returned if there's no damage. Always read the rental agreement to understand the rules and how the deposit works for short-term stays. Businesses renting office or retail space also pay security deposits. The principles are the same. The deposit protects the landlord from damage or unpaid rent. Commercial leases may have different rules, so it's important to read the contract and understand your responsibilities as a business tenant. If you sublet your rental to someone else, you're still responsible for the security deposit. Make sure your subtenant understands the rules and agrees to take care of the property. It's a good idea to have a written agreement with your subtenant about the deposit and any potential deductions. When you renew your lease, your security deposit usually carries over to the new term. If the rent increases, the landlord may ask for an additional deposit to match the new amount. Always confirm with your landlord how the deposit will be handled during a lease renewal. If you end your lease early, you may lose some or all of your security deposit, depending on the terms of your agreement. Some leases have penalties for breaking the contract, while others allow for partial refunds. Always read your lease carefully and talk to your landlord before making any decisions about moving out early. If a tenant is evicted, the landlord may use the security deposit to cover unpaid rent or damages. In some cases, the deposit may not be enough to cover all costs, and the tenant could owe more. Eviction is a serious matter, so it's important to understand how it affects your deposit and financial responsibilities. If a landlord files for bankruptcy, tenants may worry about getting their security deposit back. Laws vary, but in many cases, tenants become creditors and may have to file a claim to recover their deposit. It's a complicated situation, so seek legal advice if you're affected by a landlord's bankruptcy. If a rental property goes into foreclosure, tenants may worry about their security deposit. In some places, the new owner is responsible for returning the deposit, while in others, tenants must seek repayment from the former landlord. Always check local laws and keep all your documentation in case of foreclosure. If your rent goes up during your lease, your landlord may ask for an additional security deposit to match the new rent amount. This is common and should be outlined in your lease agreement. Always ask for a receipt for any extra deposit you pay. If you transfer your lease to someone else, the security deposit usually stays with the property. The new tenant may pay you back for your share, or the landlord may handle the transfer. Always clarify how the deposit will be managed before transferring your lease. Some landlords require a separate deposit for utilities, like water or electricity. This is different from your main security deposit and is used to cover unpaid utility bills. Make sure you know what each deposit is for and keep receipts for all payments. Renter's insurance is different from a security deposit. Insurance protects your personal belongings and covers liability, while the deposit covers property damage or unpaid rent. Some landlords require both. Make sure you understand the difference and what each one covers. Many landlords now accept security deposits through online payment platforms. This method is fast and provides a digital record of your payment. Always use secure, traceable methods and save all confirmation emails or receipts for your records. Unfortunately, rental scams involving fake security deposits do happen. Never pay a deposit before seeing the property or signing a legitimate lease. Always verify the landlord's identity and use secure payment methods. If something feels off, trust your instincts and do more research. If you're renting property in another country, security deposit rules may be very different. Research local laws and customs before signing a lease. Make sure you understand the currency, payment methods, and how deposits are returned in that country. Student housing often requires security deposits, just like regular rentals. The process is similar, but rules may be more flexible for students. Always read your housing agreement and ask questions if you're unsure about the deposit or any other fees. If you have a cosigner on your lease, they may also be responsible for the security deposit. This means if you cause damage or don't pay rent, the cosigner could be held liable. Make sure everyone involved understands their responsibilities before signing the lease. In areas with rent control, there may be special rules about security deposits. These rules can limit the amount landlords can charge and set strict guidelines for returning deposits. Always check local rent control laws if you live in a regulated area. If you violate your lease terms, such as having unauthorized pets or subletting without permission, your landlord may deduct from your security deposit. Always follow the rules in your lease to avoid losing part or all of your deposit. If you want to make changes or renovations to your rental, always get your landlord's written permission first. Unauthorized changes can lead to deductions from your security deposit or even additional charges. Clear communication is key to avoiding problems. Good communication with your landlord is essential for a smooth rental experience. Always ask questions if you're unsure about the security deposit or any part of your lease. Keeping everything in writing helps prevent misunderstandings and protects your rights. To wrap up, security deposits are a key part of renting, protecting both landlords and tenants. Remember to always read your lease, keep good records, and communicate clearly. Know your rights and responsibilities, and you'll have a much smoother rental experience. With this knowledge, you're now better prepared to handle security deposits confidently and avoid common pitfalls. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your next rental.